In today's video, I am working in this humongous art journal that it's a Moleskine that I have been sitting on for like 2 months because was too scared to actually open it up and work in it. Not really scared, but you know, it's like, oh, this thing that I've wanted for 2 years, I finally get, and then I don't work in it. So I decided to crack it open and do something in it. I collaged and then I did a portrait, and my goal was, hey, I'm gonna be very loose and, you know, kind of carefree in it. And of course that was the exact opposite of what happened. So I think the lesson learned is, one, if you get something new, open it up and use it. Don't just let it sit and look at it and go, oh, you're too good to use or too precious, because that isn't a good thing. And number two, the process is part of it. So yes, my goal was to be really loose. Is it hard to be loose on camera? Yeah, it is. But part of the process is just, I was working bigger than I normally do on camera. I was doing some things in a perspective that it wasn't as natural for me. If I work that big, I usually work up on the wall, but that's okay, because that's just all part of the learning process. And along the way, some really good things came out, because what it reminded me of was how much I like having those vintage papers pop through. And granted, it was only around the edges, but that was enough to, like, okay, I really want to do more portraits with that vintage paper coming through with the collage underneath. And so, of course, I wanted it to show through maybe in her face and other areas, but that's okay, because it's got me, you know, moving in that right direction. The other thing, at the very end of the video, I had some glitches, so I haven't edited yet, so I'm not sure what I got and what I didn't get. But the other thing that I just had I was at a crossroads. It's like, do I just kind of obliterate it? Do I do something crazy? And on camera, I said, no, I'm gonna leave it as it is. Well, off camera, I was like, I'm gonna just pull some paint across. I had some extra paint left over. I will have a photo of that at the end. I didn't obliterate it, but I just kind of messed it up, because I think, here's the thing, if you want to be loose, you have to be willing to mess things up, and you can always go back to if you did it the first time, you can do it again. So yeah, it's tedious, and do you want to? No. But if you want to stay loose, then you have to be willing to kind of maybe even ruin what you're making in order to create something better or more unique or more what you want, that you're feeling. So as much as I might be feeling, oh, you know, I want all the proportions right, and those are the thing really important to me. At the end of the day, what I really, really want is to be looser, to have my, to be expressive, to show something, whether it's emotion or grit or something in my art, versus just a well-rendered portrait. So anyway, I know we all have a different why, and that's maybe a video for another time, but it is something to consider, and it is something to think about when you are making your art, that if it's not exactly how you want it, you're on that road to achieving that, and just keep going, and eventually you will get there. So, okay, without further ado, let's get started. I've had my eye on this art journal for probably 2 years, and due to the cost, I refused to buy it. And then eventually I found it at a very good price, like half price of normal. And so I went ahead and bought it. And first off, I'm going to say, I looked this up. I always called it Moleskine, not counting the E. But I was like, oh, before I go on camera, I got to make sure I'm saying it the right way. Well, apparently there's like 5 different ways you can say it, and the company does not endorse any of them. Although supposedly the CEO, this is a little more in depth than you want, supposedly pronounces it Moleskine. So anyway, I'm just going to stick with Moleskine, because that's how I've always pronounced it. Yeah, Moleskine, Moleskine, all of them are right. Moschini. I guess it doesn't really matter. So just for the sake of that, I wanted to let you know, a little trivia there. I did look it up. So this art journal is massive. It is a watercolor paper, 135 pounds. It is 11 by 16, I think. 11 by 16 and a half. It's massive. It came and it was even bigger than I thought. I mean, look at the size of this. This is like the best thing I've ever, look at this. I can barely get in the camera. I have my tripod up so high, I can wobbly. But okay, so I bought this. I got it about a month or maybe almost 2 months now ago. But again, I can't use it. So Then I finally took the plastic off of it and I thought I can use it, but no, I do not use it. It sits empty. Now, mind you, I'm going to turn around and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 regular art journals and I have 3 book art journals, which means I've made them out of vintage books. So I have 7 other art journals, or 8, yeah, 7 other art journals right now. But this, nothing like this. This is, whoa, 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 so cool. So I thought what I would do is, because what I preach is, 1, don't buy anything, use what you have. But once in a while, yeah, you do gotta buy something. And if it's something cool and you've had your eye on it and it's on a sale, of course you gotta buy it. But once you purchase it, you have to use it, right? So I decided today I would actually do the first thing in here, because it's already precious. I don't want to use it. It's massive. It's super cool. So of course I don't want to use it, because what the heck? So what I decided I was going to do is I never start at the first page. So I'm going to start somewhere. And I decided I'm going to collage. I'm just going to put a bunch of collage down and then maybe do something over the top of it. So we'll see how far we get today, but that's my intention. So if you have an art journal it doesn't have to be this big, obviously. If you have something that you have been holding on to and not using, go get it right now. Turn this off and go use it. Just put a big mark in it and then you'll be like, yes, I can use it. So anyway, okay. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to get my collage papers, and I'm mostly just going to be using vintage book papers, and then we are going to get started. I have a big stack of very neutral collage papers because I think the background I want neutral, because I might do a glaze over the top of it. I'm not really sure what I want to do. And then I'm just using this Blick gel medium today instead of matte medium. I just want things to really stick down, and I may not go over the top. I'm not really sure. And I'm going to use a palette knife. I might use a color shade. I might use a paintbrush. I don't know. I'll have one here ready. Let me grab one, actually. So what I'm going to do is just do this in fast forward. Just going to collage down an array of bits and pieces on here. And then when it's done, then we're going to figure out what we're going to do next. I am not sure yet. I've decided to just do a quick wash of this Titan Buff. I'm just gonna pour it directly on there. And I actually went through and pulled up a bunch of the pieces that weren't lying flat, because they had bubbles under them, and it's a little difficult to work this big flat. So I definitely had some spots that did not adhere to the glue. So I just went through and kind of picked those up. So this is just really light because I want to see the text and everything underneath. But I kind of need a starting place. And I've decided, I've been on a portrait kick lately. So I'm going to, this is a really massive. Now, granted, I do canvases this big portrait wise, but I don't normally work flat like this. Looks like maybe I missed, this is kind of pulling up here too. I don't normally work this big on the table. So we'll see how that goes. But I've just kind of been enjoying, I love portraits anyway. And so I was just thinking this would be fun to work really big, and we'll see what happens. But I'm also not going to bring in, well, my hope is, I say one thing and then I do another. My hope is not to work with a lot of mediums. And I mean, I don't know, we'll see. So just got to get started and then see where it leads. That's the truth for anything. But I do want to keep it simple. And I think makes it a lot easier. And this is good because it's kind of unifying it a little bit, the background, even though you can still see the text. It kind of helps bring it all together. Okay, so I am going to grab some reference photos, just because I always like working from one, and then maybe sketch something out, very simple. And we'll see how simple I can keep it. So, all right, let's move on to the next thing. All right, I thought I'd just jump right in. I grabbed a charcoal pencil and also a Stabilo. It's not quite dry, but that's okay. I feel like I can just kind of work over the top of this. And so I think what I'll do is put it in fast forward. You can just kind of watch the process. And then if there's anything that comes up that I feel like we should talk about, definitely by the end I will. I did grab some palette paper so that I can put out some paint if I want it, but I'm going to try to keep this very neutral and then just kind of see what happens. I also kind of want to abstract it a little bit. My problem with portraits is that I tend to overwork them. I want it to look better and better instead of just like, okay, it's abstracted in a way. So I'm really trying to push myself to abstract my portraits a little bit more than have them rendered so well. Not that they're photorealistic by any stretch of the imagination, but for me, I'm trying too hard, I guess is my point. Instead, I want to relax into it. I want them to be more free flowing and maybe a little bit distorted or disrupted in some level versus just, oh, it looks like another cute girl or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to put this on fast forward, and Jen, you can watch the process. Okay, so as you can see from this, I overworked it a little bit. I was not able to totally stay as loose as I wanted. You can see some of the book pages and the from around the edges, the music and that kind of thing. And that is kind of what I wanted more popping through, although you can see the collage pieces, which is why I always like working on top of collage. But I think in general, you know, sometimes it is hard to stay loose. Working this big, working on camera, but that is something I want to strive to do, to be able to do. And I think I've accomplished the one goal, which was to put something in this art journal so that it's no longer precious and I can just keep working in it. So yeah, so in that case, it's great. And of course I could bring something over and just completely knock out that face and make it crazy. But I think for now, I'm just gonna leave it like this. And so, and call it done. And then next time, maybe, you know, each time I'll get looser. The part of the process is just one step at a time. You know, each time isn't going to have the result necessarily that you want, but it is a process, and it is. I do want to get back to, like I said, the collage paper showing through, and so that was super accomplished and working in this journal. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.